So, BitCloud, seeing that this is your first time here,
Yes,
and
sir.
we haven't really had a chance to talk PC gaming with you, I guess the first thing I will ask you is, what was the game that made you go, nope, I've had enough?
I mean, honestly, it's
Was it a game?
it legit goes a little deeper than that. But if I was to name one in general, and it's funny because we just saw the sequel to this game, and that was Ghost of Tsushima.
Ooh.
Now I've seen that
Interesting.
game running at max on one of the Alienware QD OLED. It's the one where it's curved. See that at max settings, fully turned up everything on a 3090, and I was sitting going, Jesus Christ, that is. It's like I'm looking at a whole different experience right now. It's running running above 60, no issues. I'm like, wow, that's insane. And so when you get to the sequel and you see, you're seeing something of that caliber, and you see the sequel on console, you're like, and especially since they didn't even run it on the Pro apparently
All of
too.
a sudden, you see the floaties, and you're like, he's not an Olympic swimmer. What is he doing right
Uh,
now?
you saw the shimmering.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, there's a lot of there's some stuff you don't forget when you see it close up, and a lot of people, granted, I don't blame them because they never made the trip or they never experienced it, so it's hard for me to be critical of those who don't know about this stuff. But when you see it your first time and you know for a fact what you're looking for, it's pretty telling. It's pretty night and day.
Excellent, sir.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, this show will be a lot of this. It'll be a lot of me poking you and prodding you. Pause. About about what basically made you make that decision, take the plunge, because PC gamer, console gamers go hard, right? They love their brand, they love their console, and I'm not saying you don't love your console anymore, or you can tell me that. I don't know. We'll get there, but by and large, you got to take that console from their cold dead hands, if you know what I'm saying, right? So it will be interesting, and we've been hearing a lot of folks talk about transitioning to PC from the piece, what do you call it, the Xbox,
Yeah.
right? So it would be interesting to hear a perspective from somebody who's on the PlayStation transitioning, but we will get there. First and foremost, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show that we try to, demystify the monolith known as PCMR with. We call this the Gamers Playground. I'm your host this week, Mr. K. Asante, and of course I am joined by Mr. Heat himself, Mr. John Wolf. Good evening, sir. How you doing, man?
What's going on, Kay? We got another week here, man. Another good episode coming up. First, like I already said, I already told them in the green room, but Big Cloud, thank you, man, for joining us. We're 50 something episodes in, man. We wanted to get a good guest, and I'm like, you know what? Let me send the bat signal out to Big Cloud because it's been a minute since we've been on a show together. Number one, number two. I've been kind of scoping your podcast recently and a couple of guest podcasts that you've been on, and I know that you've been pretty vocal about the PlayStation brand and kind of like the moves that they're making and stuff like that, and I thought it would be a make for a very interesting conversation, especially considering how we have the PS5 Pro that the pre-orders went up on Friday. We'll talk a little bit about that, and just to get your overall mind, because when, like, I remember, like, many of the conversations I hear you having on these shows, like, I remember my frustrations and talking to Kay Asante and in our DM and our group, and a lot of these frustrations of just things that you start having a little bit less tolerance towards. And then you're like, why am I settling for this stuff? Why am I putting up with this when I don't have to? And you're holding on to this invisible loyalty, kind of card that you feel like, because we grew up in this kind of environment of, hey, if you have gamed here for X amount of years, it's kind of weird to transition over somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely went through some of that. So it's gonna be a great conversation, man.
It's definitely a weird tribalistic nature, but we talk about this. I've talked to you and Kesanti on Boom Show
Yeah.
about stuff like this, but we'll definitely dive into it. It's a lot of layers. I'm pretty sure you both know that there's a lot there. So
Yeah, and again, and I just okay. The last thing I want to say is I want to preface this, conversation again. Like, it's a shame we have to, but we kind of have to. Look, it, it again, when we're talking about ecosystems and all this stuff, at the end of the day, if you're blessed enough to have them all, game everywhere you can. This is really just conversation between gamers. That's all this is. This isn't meant to throw any fan base under the bus or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to put a caveat, a disclaimer before, because some stuff personally, Cloud.
I think we're losing you a little bit.
Yeah, you
Your,
sound a
your
little
mic,
low.
your mic, it almost seems like your mic went from the proper mic to like a little hand mic.
Oh, is that better, guys, or no?
That's better.
Much better. There you
Okay,
go.
I'm back. Okay, I know what I
Yeah,
did.
you good.
So no, I was just saying, it's messy out here, Big Cloud. I see, I see the Twitter streets, man. And Kate, you know how it gets. So we're gonna have a good conversation, guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So first and foremost, I will say welcome one and all. I see that our numbers are growing already. I appreciate you being here. This is our Monday night show where we just talk PC, we talk handhelds, we talk any kind of gaming, right? We're not only limited by consoles, even though, if you love your consoles, there's nothing wrong with that. If you have any questions for myself or our honored guest, for Mr. John Wolf, please throw them in the chat. Feel free to do so. Super chat or otherwise, we'll do our best to see them and answer them for you. I will also disclaimer and say we are using new tools, just like I said on Saturday. So if everything goes tits up, as they say, please don't blame me.
Oh, somebody say tits? Well, what's going on here?
Calm down. If something goes down, if the volumes ain't working right or something's just not to your liking, please let us know in the chat. We will definitely do our best to address that. But you know what? Let us start this conversation properly with you, BitCloud. And those who don't know who BitCloud Gaming is, please give us a little bit of a what has spurred you in this community. What are people knowing you for in this community right now?
Oh, that's a tell. That's a tell. All right, so before the BitCloud name, I was known as Ryan the Professional for years. Heavy in the console war, so a lot of drama, century type of stuff. Debates, constant Xbox trash talking. The list goes on. Stuff like
the
that.
Fun stuff, man.
Yeah,
the fun stuff.
OG. I'm talking back when we had a thing called Google Hangouts, where we didn't even have to go through the hustle that we go through now with StreamYards. We were we was in those streets, and afterwards, I had a long conversation with someone who ended up being the person who changed me for the better. He's the former head of second-party relations with PlayStation. His name is Gio Corsi.
Oh, yeah.
Me and him, I had an interview with him on my channel. He took a chance. Me and him talked, and me and him had this long, grown-up conversation off air. And he still follows me to this day. I'll hit him up and say what's up. And he's like, I'm proud of you, kid. All that stuff. So I'll talk to him here and there when I can. But
he's at Nintendo now, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So me and him talked about it, and he asked me a simple question. Hey, Ryan, I was like, what's up? Like, be honest with him. He's like, what's up? So how do you want to be remembered? So what do you mean? So do you want to be remembered as someone who made a lot of noise, or do you want to be remembered as someone who created something he's proud of? I didn't put that together until like 4 months afterwards, where I then just started to see how things were playing out and what he was saying. The community was all the same. If you really think about it, every PlayStation Central channel at that time, literally was it's literally, if you go through it with a fine tooth comb, you couldn't really pick out the difference between the channels because they all were talking about one thing that they really should not be talking about, and that's just Xbox. You notice that, like, it was Xbox Bash Fest. Like, they'll talk about PlayStation news on a Monday, Xbox Bash video on a Tuesday, or they'll do both back and forth in one day, and then keep it going, and then build traction that way. And that's their whole audience. Their audience is they hate Xbox. This is the PlayStation. Blah blah blah. So I said, you know what? Why not take a chance on myself? So I literally was just sitting home one day, and I was thinking of what would I call myself? What resonates with me after so long? And lo and behold, it was like something just told me to turn on YouTube and click on one of my favorite shows at the time growing up. It was a show called Zoids, New Century. There's a character on there who was one of my all-time favorites. His name is Big Cloud. So
Nice.
that's where the name Big Cloud came from Zoids. And so after the name change and a few here and there tweaks for the channel, changing a few things that we did before. Granted, a lot of people didn't not necessarily adjust to it all the way. Some people adjust to it because remember, I went from being someone who wasn't even on camera. I never was on camera. I was off camera. They used to saw the avatar. So, it's a big difference when you go from putting yourself into the content versus just playing up a persona that no one, and giving people an illusion of you, but never really showing who you are. So I built the, channel off of me, showing myself, opening up more. And of course, leaving the console war BS out of it. This triggered a lot of people on the PlayStation side, or the fake PlayStation side, I will say that. And you've seen them in your comment sessions, you've seen them in others. And of course, it didn't make it any better when I was offered opportunities to talk with more gamers, where ultimately I met you, John Wolf, and vice versa. But just to make a long story short, after the name change, what do I do now? What people know me for? Well, within a month, keyword a month, because I happened to interview one particular person, and she changed my life. Her name is Lauren Galloway. I'm always going to be indebted to her. She was the senior communications, or senior community manager, for IGN and their socials. And I asked her, hey, I would love to talk to you for a little bit, just to get to know you, see how the process is. And literally, we had a great conversation, me and Blaze 4K with her. And within like 2 weeks after that conversation, she put it out there on Twitter that we're looking for video producers. So I put in for a video producer, and to my surprise, and I didn't even see it outright, I just remember getting a bunch of emails. It said IGN related, offering me games. And I was like, what is this? I had to piece it together. What is this? So I went to, you go to the email and you go to the source of where it began. And that's where I was offered opportunity to be a freelance video producer with IGN. And so that's where you see it on my Twitter. It's one of the biggest highlights of my career doing gaming, because I went from just watching IGN to now making content for them. A lot of people might say, but that happened X amount of years ago. True, but it is a highlight of my life. It's something that I was very appreciative of. I never thought I would ever see my name on another website like that. And so I was working with them. I did the GTA San Andreas remake or remaster, the horrible one playthrough for them. So that's on their channel. So when you go and watch that gameplay, that's all mine. Me playing, doing the walkthroughs and collectibles. And we did such a good job with that when I eventually left, they hit me up afterwards because Lauren mentioned me. And this is where my channel got pretty much immortalized in a sense on the channel as a curator for what's called IGN Playlists. IGN Playlists is it was an idea started by Pierre Schneider and the company itself to get a glimpse of what gamers want in terms of like what is their favorites, like what exactly type of games would you like to see if you were to have a playlist of games that you would love to come back. This is where it's at. And so they reached out to me, David Jaffe, a few other big known creators, and we became curators there. And that's where things happened there. And since then, since aside from that, and just working with them, I've joined Lognet, where I'm a writer. I've written many reviews. I've taught to so many developers. Like it's so much happened. But that's basically a short story of what I do.
That's great, awesome. Man. That's great. That is awesome stuff, man. See, this is just the story of a man who likes games, likes talking games, and now you're getting more closer and closer to doing that as a full-time thing, something you love to do. We love to hear it, man. That's great. That is awesome. That is awesome.
That is pretty awesome. So let me ask you this, Big Cloud, when you're in your progression, right? Because we like, many people, me, Kay, and I'm sure many in the chat know you, but those that don't, I mean, I know that you've been gaming on your PlayStation side, on the PlayStation side for quite a bit. I do know that if there's one thing I know about Big Cloud, if there's a game that comes out and you need to see compare trophy lists and all that. This man has you. So I know that when you make this full transition over to PC, man, I really wonder that that dopamine, how you're gonna miss it seeing those trophies pop, because I do know
Well-
that for what was that, K?
Well, I was gonna say
they made the transition a little easier because they're doing the PlayStation user interface just on
Absolutely.
PC.
So this is what I wanted to do, right? Before we get into your full transition to PC, I want to ask what got you there.
Oh, there you go.
are
Okay.
you are a proud PlayStation gamer. There are proud John Wolf was a proud Xbox gamer. One thing led to another, and he became a little disenfranchised with the ecosystem he loves. Now, we should all put it out there, right? Proud PlayStation gamer who's dabbling in PC now. We'll see how far you go. Proud Xbox gamer who's also now in the PC waters. I have always kind of been equal opportunity, so that's how I am. That's how I've always been. What led you down the path of, hey, you know what? Maybe I should take this a bit more seriously.
Well, so honestly, if I was to go back and just do a comparison, just look at the start of the PS4 gen. Everybody was united, and I figured maybe this would carry over and people would learn from this permanently, that once you're united, you are a fist. You can make a change. When there is something that is clearly anti-consumer and you're against it, you can change it and alter the course of a generation. Since PlayStation 5 has come out, most of the stuff that we fought against for PS4 are now here. And on top of that, we have people in this PlayStation, I don't even want to call them gamers because they're bad actors in my honest opinion, who go on Twitter and hype people up and gas people up and say like everything is fine. When you have a generation where Sony's releasing one from their first party studios in a year, and in the midst of releasing one game, they're charging you more, if not double for PS Plus, charging you more for controllers, not giving you any updates for your roadmap. The only update you got from a roadmap was courtesy of a hack, which happened to hit one of my favorite studios, and I am very upset about. But still, we kind of all pieced together what they were really doing in the long run. But still, the fact that there was no updates, the fact that there was this lack of, it was just weird. It's this weird tone deaf nature with PlayStation as of late, where it's like they're listening, but they're not listening. They're only listening to what they want to hear. And so when you have a fan base that is conditioned themselves to say yes, yes, yes to every single bad practice, you already know where the future is going to be in the long run. And that's where we get into where we are now, PlayStation 5 Pro. PlayStation 5 Pro sounds amazing on paper. I think all three of us can agree. It sounds amazing on paper.
I was ready to drop that coin.
Until we saw it in real time.
Yep.
When you have comparisons that look exactly the same, and your biggest thing to sell this is, well, it's less blurry in the background, I hate to break it to you, that doesn't scream $700. And then you insult your consumer by doing something as sleazy as selling as what you call the ultimate experience, and it doesn't even come with a damn stand of all things, and the damn thing still has the same CPU. So it's a lot of stuff that people just are not piecing together. And then
And
when
they
you
took away
look,
the disk drive. Don't forget that.
and there you go, in the disk drive. And then, people are trying to damage control that, saying, oh, the disk drive is not needed. It's $700, so hold this L. Here's the thing. To all of you that are on this fence and are damage controlling a disk drive not being in a console, you are setting yourself for an all-digital future. And when the all-digital future happens, this is what's going to happen. If you look at what just happened with Horizon Remake versus the original, that's going to be a constant. Basically, Sony can have the right to just go, hey, you know what? We're coming out. Instead of us making Bloodborne 2, we're just going to remake another Until Dawn. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to charge you more for the base Until Dawn on the digital side. Why? Because we can. And that's exactly the future that you're going into. You see, consoles are not like PC where you have multiple storefronts to get games digitally. It's not. It's not like that. Consoles have always been locked to basically the stores itself inside the PlayStation. Granted, you can buy them physically, but again, once you take physical media out the equation, what do you have? Digital, and you're at the mercy, of the actual merchant. In this case, PlayStation, or the original developer. So again, and also keep in mind too, what happens if a game didn't do well and it's removed from your library?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Think about that. Are you even? There's no guarantee that you are going to get your money back. Concord, the people might be going, well, Concord got my money back. Yes, because Concord was a colossal failure. Concord was the biggest, first party colossal failure that we have ever seen in PlayStation's history. It didn't even last a week. Think about that. It didn't even last a week or two. It didn't even last.
And to your point, Big Cloud, PlayStation is them, and I don't think Nintendo, but I do think that PlayStation, like when you go to these online stores that you can get codes, the only PlayStation codes available are codes that probably came with bundles that people are selling. But they don't have.
Sued about that. They are no longer. They're not allowing for resale from middlemen. So
just
like
their
GG.deals, you won't find any PlayStation codes there because they don't allow that. Yeah.
Just like how people used to double up on PlayStation Plus. Y'all remember that? That was our cheat code to get Plus more. We buy those, use those points to get them. They cut you out the gate. So there you go. Sony's already dictating how you purchase games, how they're dictating how you share your games and manage with their cloud servers and all that stuff. Literally, that's what this whole control environment that you're in. So when people see this and they know they see this, what kills me is when I see them make excuses. Well, it's business. Okay, if it's business, why are we complaining about it when Microsoft does something similar? Why do we have 40-hour podcasts talking about Microsoft and how Microsoft's bad for the industry when the very PlayStation that you're looking at is doing the exact same thing? Granted, Game Pass is not happening with PlayStation yet at this route, yet. Just like another thing is not happening yet with PlayStation. That's day and date. But we all know what's going to happen, what's down the road for PlayStation. And it's not strictly console only. In fact, they keep bringing that to you multiple times. A lot of people are going, oh, see, you thought it was going to be day and date because the beyond the console meaning. I don't think a lot of you pay attention to what they said in that beyond the console. They're legit talking about becoming Nintendo, but also offering multiple avenues for you to play their first-party content.
Yeah.
They want to turn games into attraction pieces like Nintendo Land. They want to have other ways for you to experience them on mobile, hence why they showed off those futuristic-looking glasses, which I don't think are going to be practical. And to be honest, I don't think people are going to rock those. If VR gets to that point, then hell, I'll buy one. But glasses. And then we have, what they said in the briefing where they said gaming beyond, where they're showing you an ecosystem. And I said this multiple times in videos and do sound crazy, but really it's not far-fetched. Both sides are selling you ecosystems, not strictly consoles here. They're selling you multiple ways to get into it, whether it be a portal through PlayStation, whether it be through, PC, mobile. You have multiple ways to play PlayStation games, and that's what they want to expand on. Just like Microsoft has already went full foot in. And, you hear this and you hear people say, well, Xbox failed. Why would they do that? Here's the thing. Microsoft had a lot of factors going into this, like ABK. ABK was already faltering when they bought ABK. So a lot of things they have to do. There's a lot of restructuring they have to do for a lot of these companies that they purchase.
A successful ABK would not have sold.
Right.
No.
It's a lot of stuff they have to fix. But one thing I'm not going to sit here and do is be a hypocrite and downplay what Microsoft dropped over PlayStation over the years and have continued to at least show some effort. Sony, on the other hand, it has been literally third-party game after third-party game after third-party game. Like, if you look at the state of play that we just got, dude saying that was a great showcase, you're out of your mind. Yes, it was a great showcase for third-party games, absolutely. But I'm sorry, I didn't tune in for a state of play for third-party games. I tuned in for a state of play to see what PlayStation has in store for PlayStation users. And the only thing you showed me was DLC for a game that we still don't have the numbers for, which is Astrobot. You showed me a remaster of the same game I've already played multiple times that I have no desire to play. And then you showed me 50 titles of what you claimed to be enhanced. But here's the thing about these 50 titles that were shown. They're only 5 seconds a piece of this in quick montage. So what does that tell you about what exactly we have for PlayStation? Not a whole lot.
Mm.
It
Well,
really, really does not.
I think that the Pro not being able to sell out on the initial pre-order batch
Oh,
says a lot.
We can talk about that because this has been the weirdest conversation I've also had in regards to this whole Pro situation. You have dudes immediately call you a brokey, okay, Asante, because you don't want to buy a $700 console. Meanwhile, I've said flat out that I'm buying something that is far times stronger than anything a PlayStation will have in years to come, which is a 4090. But I'm a brokey because I refuse to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro.
Here's the thing, Big
Mind
Kyle, let
you.
me interrupt you real fast, and I'm sorry to
Right.
to interrupt while you're getting your thoughts out, and you can ask Kay. Out of everyone in our group, I was ready to drop that coin on the PS5 Pro, but it goes into what you're gonna say now and into what you're saying. They did such a poor job marketing that console that I saw Cerny and his presentation, and it landed like a wet fart. It's like, okay, all the hype that I had for this thing is out the window. Like you gave me zero hype to want to buy this thing.
Yeah. The thing is too, usually we all get excited for new technology.
Of course,
Why? Because
FOMO.
new advanced tech in consoles means more advanced tech in PC, and this all benefits one another, and it just goes further and further, and you get even better looking games or performance in games. When I saw this, I was just sitting there going, okay, where's the improvement? He's like, oh, look at Ratchet, look at the crowd. I'm like, I'm not focused on that when I'm playing Ratchet. I care about 60 FPS. And he's like, well, Ratchet has 60. Okay, cool, but here's the thing, and this is the same thing that Xbox One X had. Y'all remember they showed all these older titles on there, and he's like, yeah, it's 60 FPS, all this stuff. But what does that say about the future? You asked him, what about the future? He flat out said there's no guarantee that 60 FPS is going to be for every game. So at the point right there, what is the point of me paying $700 for a console like this? You claim it's for the enthusiasts. That's what the damage control is. It's for the enthusiasts.
So
If
Big
it's for the
Cloud.
enthusiasts, good.
No, I appreciate what you're saying because I said something similar, but I'm saying it from a technical perspective.
Yeah.
You figured it out right there, right? We've always known that if you want higher frame rate,
Yeah.
it's about the complexity of your CPU,
Exactly.
right? So what does Cerny do? He comes out and says,
He increased
"Hey,
the die.
we thought that people loved fidelity, but instead everyone chooses performance. So we thought we're going to give you a device that you no longer have to make a choice. And then
Right.
you look at the specs, and what do you see? A bunch of GPU, no CPU. What does that tell you?
Yeah, you didn't learn. You didn't learn a damn thing. And
It tells you you
Snake oil.
sold people a sad bit of goods, because if you did care about the performance over graphics performance, you would have given them a big CPU. Instead, you gave them no CPU upgrade, gave them more graphics,
yep.
and went. So the whole 60 FPS thing, that's where I call snake oil.
And what's killing me about this too is the damage control and the denial. Like, dudes really believe
it's
that
bad.
GTA 6 is going to run at 60 on this. Okay, the biggest example to tell you what's going to happen is Dragon's Dogma running on PS5 Pro. That game can't even run close to 60. So if that game, which is CPU intensive, mind you, can't run it at 60, what makes you think GTA 6 is going to be? Because you
So-
already know
So
they're
let
going
me
to go all
help
out.
you. Let me help you with this, okay? Dragon's Dogma 2 has already released an optimization patch.
Yep.
To get it to be smoother. Now, do you know what the optimization patch was? They didn't take away fog or scenery or anything like that. They killed NPCs. That's how they got it to be smooth, because in like we always say on this show, CPU resources don't scale. GPU resources scale. Right?
Yeah.
So if you want to make that CPU heavy game work on a lesser machine, you got to take away some of the complexity. So
Yeah.
in order to make it run well on consoles, they are killing the NPCs, making the world less lived in, so that it can run better on your hardware.
Big Cloud,
And-
let me throw this at you. So somebody said this in our group. Tell me what you think about this. So we're hypothesizing what this PS5 Pro, what they're trying to achieve with this thing, right? Obviously, sell it to as many people as possible. But the thing is that
Went to the fanboys
well,
tonight.
well, I mean that is true though. Their energy is very low right now. But do you think that this might? Because somebody said this in our group, and I thought it was genius. Do you think that this is PlayStation's way of getting that day and date closer to PC, so that they give their hardcore audience a feeling that they're special, that us console gamers need to feel special. And they're like, listen, just because we're releasing it on PC and it's going to be specced out, you guys shouldn't feel left out because you also have a specced out console. Do you think that there's anything there?
Honestly, that's so weird. I don't think that's making it
If
feel
that is
special.
really the case,
Yeah, I don't think
one
that's making
Digital
it feel
Foundry video will cure you of that. Because when they show
Yeah.
you the real difference, you'll be like, oh, so I was lied to then.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what
Yeah,
I mean?
cause-
what you see there is a full-on bait and switch.
Right,
Mm.
because the thought process behind that is that, remember, they're selling this thing. We've seen the tweets. They're selling this thing as a 4070 on Twitter. If you go to Twitter right now, you think this is a 40. This is gonna run like a 4070. So what it looks to me is that they might be kind of
More like a 3060 is what this damn thing is.
but they're trying to get their hardcore PlayStation consumer not to get butthurt when that eventual day and date comes, and then they feel special because they have a 4070, quote unquote. You see what I'm saying? So from that perspective, it kind of makes sense.
From that perspective, yeah, sure. For the mindless drone that just lives on Twitter, that might
That's
sound
what they
sense.
want.
But
Yep.
to the casual who just pays attention with his eyes, because the casual they buy with their eyes. You know what I'm saying? What they see, and that right there kind of speaks volumes of just how well this thing's pretty much probably end up doing. If you look at the pre-orders, like. Dudes are championing, and I'm using air quotes, but they're championing that a 12,000, because remember it was like 12,000 of these
Yeah.
limited edition ones sold out in record time. I don't have to be I don't have to be the sharpest knife in the drawer to tell you that was going to happen. Period.
Anything
Because
limited
it was
edition is gonna
limited.
sell out.
Everything limited. It doesn't matter. But the fact that dudes are champion that saying, "Oh, I thought people didn't want it." I literally did it live on stream. I was talking to Fratanga. I did it live on stream. I said literally. Here's me about the pre-orders thing. I literally put it in the cart and everything. I can get a PS5 Pro right now. There is nothing special behind
As
getting
we
a Pro.
speak, sir.
Yep.
I got the PS5 Pro right here in my cart, ready to go. I just wanted to
Big
see if it
Cloud,
was
we
available.
need your credit card
It's-
information. Let's
It's
go.
still
Let's
right
go.
here, baby. It's still available. It's
So,
not sold out.
If I can get it
Now-
and K Asante can get it, I don't
know,
see where this.
As you can see,
like this.
right,
Yeah.
the special edition is currently unavailable,
But the regular-
the non-special edition is very much available. You
Yeah.
can buy that today.
And the main reason the limited edition one sold out, 90%, well, I wouldn't say 90%, I would say about like a good 60% of these guys who bought it are the scalpers you see trying to sell it for $35,000 and crazy prices.
Right.
And that's the it too. A lot of people are looking for opportunities to sell this thing and make
And
more
that
money.
makes sense though, the limited ones. But what doesn't make sense to me, and I mean it does make sense because myself, you know what? I take back what I said. It does make sense because again, as someone that was ready to buy this thing, I just needed you to show me something to hype me up, and they have done such a poor job that honestly, Big Cloud, I know that this is a bit premature, pause, to say this right here, and K, this thing is giving me signs of the PSVR 2 all over again. That's what this is smelling like. The pre-orders were available for the PSVR 2 for a long time after the initial pre-order launch. Then they were begging you to get it. Then they're going to start throwing free games at you. I understand that people have said this is for the enthusiast. It's not going to sell as much, whatever. That's fine, and I understand
That's
that.
copium right
But
there.
man, a pre-order of a brand new PlayStation console not to sell out in its initial batch, it's kind of weird, to be honest.
So you know what, BitCloud? Let me ask you this question. Okay, so well understood your frustrations, we'll say, with the PlayStation ecosystem that you would proudly belong to for as much as you have, right?
Yep.
So what have been your PC plans? Have you already bought a hardware? Are you planning on buying hardware? What does that look like for you?
So, I already have a build that was already made that I've used for the channel, but I have been going back and forth in my mind since I'm ready to go back to work to probably build one from scratch, another one from scratch, and just go all in, everything, build it for, obviously, for what we do, content creation, but also that ultimate experience. And so I've really been looking at, the 4090, been back and forth from whether or not it's going to be AMD based or Intel.
I'd recommend AMD.
I
Yeah.
really kind of do think it's probably gonna be AMD because I have been seeing even the highest rated GPU in the Intel side.
My
Looks great.
boss dog GPU, my CPU is still a monster, but the Intel stuff kind of keeps making
It's
it
like
a little
I'm paying
flippy.
for more. Yeah, I'm paying for more, but don't get me wrong. I do feel like at least AMD is trying 5 times more and is working for your dollar type of thing. So maybe more likely.
And
AMD.
shout out to Slow-Mo. He is right. Wait for that 4090 to drop, 4080 to drop. Worst case scenario, at that point, your the 50 series, I should say. At worst case scenario, at that point, the 40 series will
Half
be.
off. Yep.
What up,
know.
Slow-Mo? I see you, bro.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, you'll be
Slow-Mo
able to
was
pick up that 4090 half off from someone that wants to offload theirs. So
low key. Yeah, no, you can, but I don't know though. I gotta see how that 50 series do too, though. I gotta see it. We gotta
Yeah.
really see. And this is a great time. This is an exciting time for tech
Yeah,
to see
absolutely.
where everything is.
Yeah.
But we shall see. And that's
Yeah.
what the plans are, though, to go all out, go upgrade this, make this the real beast that it should be, and just upgrade everything. I've already got a monitor that I plan on buying, a new one, and just go all out and experience it. And granted, my PS5, which is right here, right here. It'll still be there on the side, but those who know me and those who be on my friends list know I'm hardly on the damn thing. So it says a lot, but it'll still be there for whatever first party if I decide to get it day one, which odds are, even though I'm not that impressed by Ghost, I'm more likely going to get it because I love the first one. But I will be playing this definitive edition, obviously, on PC when it drops. Until Sony and Herman Hulst make the decision, which we already know is going to happen, where day and date. And at that point, I won't have to worry about that because everything will be linked and I'll have everything. And so it's all about future-proofing yourself. And a lot of people just get upset when people future-proof themselves or go into a better spectrum for them. We hear this all the time. Dudes will watch a Mark Cerny conference and won't know 90% of what he says, right? But then all of a sudden on Twitter, they are masterminds and they know exactly what he says and what it's going to do. And then they look stupid when the opposite happens. That's
Magic
just how
SSD.
content. Oh, dude, it's more powerful than a 4090. I was like, oh, here we go. So we're comments, but it is what it is.
And Big Cloud, look, the thing is, when with what you're saying, right? And Kay, when we kind of first started our show, and even before then, right, that we would just chat on the back end before starting the show officially and all that. I was one of those dudes that used to fall for the marketing, man. I was pissed because I was adamant saying Aaron Greenberg said the 4K 60 was a standard. These people are liars, this and that, right? Because you buy the marketing, because again, it's not to excuse like the ignorance, right? It's not to excuse it, but at the same time, like when you're jumping from console to console, and like you before you make that transition to PC, where once you do, you realize these things aren't really that important. But when you're in there and when you're in the thick of things, you want this thing to deliver on everything they promise, because you feel that you need to be justified in your purchase. You feel like, hey, wait a minute, you guys said that your standard was this and that, and then when they fall short of those standards, what happens one day, and until one day I snapped, and you can ask Kay. I told him, Kay, what am I doing, man? Why do I care about this? I'm gonna go right now, I'm gonna buy myself a 4080. And boom, 4080 super.
And that's what that's another thing that just led me. Like, it was like, because dude's saying I'm just being too harsh, but I'm like, no, these are standards that we all made for ourselves, especially coming from PS4 gen. Well, we wanted, we all had a legit agreement with ourselves on what we wanted from these. We wanted great consoles. We wanted performance. We could care less about the pretty visuals as much. I mean, granted, you can make sharp visuals, right? Difference between sharp visuals and over pretty visuals are night and day. You know what I'm saying? You can make a beautiful looking game. Like, look at Elden Ring. That's a prime example. Make a pretty artistic looking game and just have it 60 FPS. If you need to, 1440p. You see what I'm saying? There's your selling point for PS5. Dude's like, oh, you're out of your mind. It needs to be this. It needs to be that. And since then, you have had less 60 FPS options as things have progressed. And now you're about to get a new system that's, mind you, is supposed to be our console, right? The enthusiasts who want the performance. And yet they flat out said we can't guarantee you 60, but we can say we can target unlocked performance.
So can I give an unpopular opinion that console players probably don't want to hear, but I promise you it's true.
Yep.
You want 30 frames games. You don't want 60 frames games, because what 60 frames games are they're limiting their own potential for your benefit. Right? You want them to throw as much creativity to the wall as possible. And if that means that you only get 30 frames on the console, that's fine. Because at the end of the day, when you play it on PC, you get all the frames you want. Right? But if, and I know Slow-Mo's not with me on this one. I know that. If it's mandated to always stay 60, that means they can only go this far and not further, because you got to have the overhead to be able to make that 60 work.
You know, the funny thing is, I would agree with you. And here's why I would agree with you. Do y'all remember when we first saw the official gameplay for? No. Here's why I agree with you, Slow-Mo. And here's where the wild part comes, and you would agree. And this is where you agree, Slow-Mo. This is where we saw the first official gameplay for Spider-Man 2. What was the first thing people were saying to fanboys? It doesn't look that good. It's not that polished. It's more of the same. Yada yada yada. That's exactly what they want. They don't care about the performance, and they know they don't. These are the same dudes that were arguing with you last gen that 30 FPS is more filmic, which is better than 60 FPS, which is the most stupid comment I've ever seen. That's how bad things have become. Console gaming standards, or console gamer standards, literally, I'm gonna have to be honest with you, there are none. All they care about is a pretty visual, and it's been shown multiple times. And then when the games come out,
you are so right. You know why you're so right? Because they let console games and console gamers determine generations. But generations is a fuzzy word, really, right? We were just talking about it a few minutes ago. They say you want more performance, and then they up your GPU, knowing that won't give you more performance. It'll just give you prettier visuals. Right? And let's be clear. The Xbox One, the PS4, the PS5, the Xbox Series X, and even the S, the graphics look great. We're getting diminishing returns right now. Your gen on gens don't give you this balls to the wall. Oh my God.
And that's the thing too. A lot of people are expecting like that PS2 to PS3 jump. We're never gonna ever have that jump again like we did beforehand. Gaming is at a point where visuals are what I would say stable, in a point where they look at a point, you know what I mean? There's a certain point where they look and they just pass on. But
and you know what, Slow-Mo? This is exactly where you and I agree. If you want both,
you need to go PC.
Go to PC.
Yeah.
But because you are on console, you must deal with the fact that 30 is what pushes the gen forward.
And if you notice, Slow-Mo, remember, what was the selling point for PS5 when we first got it? Keyword, when we first got
4K
it. It was performance ray tracing mode. Yeah, I remember that. You remember this, kid, Santi?
Which was snake oil then.
It was 60 FPS, but it had ray tracing.
And I'm there paying attention.
Only a few titles had that, and then it was gone.
Yeah, and those few titles were cross-gen.
Right.
They were cross-gen.
And PS5 Pro can't even guarantee you that mode to come back. And they're talking about this is the one that blurred the line. I'm sorry, we could have had this if you just toned down on trying to excite people with pretty visuals.
And let me be clear here, though. Let me be clear here. I'm not saying that everything we see says that the PS5 Pro is dog water. I'm not saying that. Because the PSSR, the PISA could be damn good, right? Problem is this: if the PSSR is really good, if they tune it and make it perform like amazingly well, guess what they got now? Now they got the Cyberpunk problem where all base PS5s won't run right, because if you target that great hardware, now all of a sudden the current gen hardware is going to be lackluster, right? Because remember,
you think it's going to be
performance. But this is why it won't be an issue. This is why they didn't do much to the CPU.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
It's just more of the same, but
it's gonna be that Xbox One, like, you know, it's gonna be that Series S type of problem where they're like, hey, blame the base model.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it's gonna come down to.
And here's the thing, from a business perspective, right? And I'm here. I'm not trying to defend PlayStation, but I kind of understand their perspective. We know what's happening in the back end with the live service push and the delays and the cancellations and all that good stuff. If we really think about this as a business, right? They look at the engines that they currently have in process with Horizon, with Spider-Man, with all this good stuff. Insomniac taught them something, and that's that you can build an engine in a world and make many games based
in
on
that world.
In that world. So if you
Insomniac Games are wizards, like that's like their top studio, and they don't get the flowers that they deserve, and it sucks.
If there is one travesty among men, it's the fact that Naughty Dog is claimed to be the biggest. but somehow Insomniac just goes under the radar.
Right.
They
I
are
don't understand.
amazing.
Like I get
They
it.
are
Like if we're
amazing.
talking about awards, okay, Naughty Dog, sure. But if we're talking about quality and what we've been given and just the non-stop
multiple
back
versions,
to back,
like back
right.
to the whole PS5
Plus
gen has
the launches.
belonged
Right.
to Insomniac. You know what I mean?
This,
Like
is,
it's
this is
crazy.
the MVP. These are your
Absolutely.
S tier studio. They are dropping more content than any studio that you got. They have beaten Sony Santa Monica, which, by the way, in my opinion, I would put in second place because Sony Santa Monica is a great studio that still managed to give you content. Naughty Dog, we are 5 years in, going on 4 to 5 years in this gen,
Remasters.
and we still don't have nothing from Naughty Dog that is new.
So-
it's just the same game repackaged.
Soup in the chat says we are tripping because HDR gaming is this gen's major upgrade.
Wasn't that last gen?
No, that's not last gen.
HDR.
Yeah,
It
he
was
has
talked
a
about.
point.
It was a talking
Yeah.
point for HDR.
He has a point because HDR has now found its way into our zeitgeist, and it does give you visuals. But let me be clear. So, and I hear you. No shade to you. HDR to me is like more graphics. The visuals are great. I'm not saying they're not great, but your game on PS5 with or without HDR is not like mind-blowingly different. It's not it's not PS3 to PS4, PS5. It's not. It's a great addition, no doubt. But it's an accessory, not the main dish. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like you know.
Just,
It's the dressing on the salad.
Right.
Exactly.
You
Yes,
know,
yes.
And to even to the point, like just where the way things are going, with aside from this pro, it's the remasters of games that we do not want.
Horizon.
No one asked for Until Dawn. No one asked for Horizon. No one asked for Ghost to get another repackage or Death Stranding to get another package. You know what I'm saying?
There
These
you
are things that should have. These games should just been immediately just been given performance.
But you know
boost
why?
on
But you
base
know why,
PS5.
Big Cloud, right? And we shouldn't care because at the end of the day, we're the gamer. But you know why they're doing it? It's because they
Wow.
need. It's because they need
yo.
hard. They need a quick, fast turnaround. Is the problem?
That
Oh,
is
God.
hard right
All right,
there.
that's raw, Ron.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that one.
He said, I'm sorry, I'll say it. He said saying HDR is a leap is like saying racism is over.
Oh wow.
Oh Lord, that's
Okay.
that's a little.
Going there, damn.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
That's crazy.
Leave that one alone.
Okay.
But nah, that's just how
Well
it is,
done,
though.
sir. Well done.
Like, just think about it though. People, if you bring out this game, like, oh, Sony gave you Concord. Concord was over.
Oh,
in less than
please,
2 weeks.
man.
But Concord, and I don't know if this, like, again, I don't. The thing is, I don't believe Colin Moriarty will lie on PlayStation for any particular.
I don't think
clout.
so either.
But it's funny though, you know, seeing the PlayStation. This is why I'm saying this hive mind weird mentality comes from,
Yeah.
where if they say something positive, oh, they'll believe you to the stars. They'll
Right.
say you're great, you're amazing, we
You
love you.
say something
But when
negative,
you
and now
say
all of a sudden,
something
Colin
negative,
Moriarty is a bot.
or show some
Yeah.
more context to something that obviously, mind you, he has more connections than all of us combined.
Yeah, true.
He would know of all people that especially something as simple as a budget, right? For someone who has a channel with sacred symbols and a podcast that is that successful, why would he lie and
Why would he
damage
damage the
representation about that?
PlayStation brand? Why would
Right.
he wanna
As a
Yeah,
damage-
man
makes
who
sense.
loves PlayStation as much as we all know he does,
Right.
it
Why
makes
would
me
he lie?
believe him more than anything else. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
he's not.
So,
He has.
yes, it is
He
what it
gains
is.
nothing from lying. He has a lot. He has more to lose than anything than to gain from lying about Sony having a $400 million, dollar budget for Concord.
yeah,
And if
yeah.
you think about it too, it all makes sense because look at Herman Holmes. He flat out said he was just throwing money at it. He believed this to be the next big thing. Well, here's the thing about Concord. Concord came out 8 years too late. It should have came out earlier. If it came out earlier,
Should also
in
came
the
out free to
hype-
play. That's what it should have came out. It should have
See,
came
when you
out
say that,
in
when you say
free-to-play.
that, you piss off these fanboys that apparently are against this. I don't understand how
It should have
we got
been
to
free
this
to
point.
play, and it should have been on
definitely should've been free to
PlayStation Plus day one.
And
That's
they
how it
should've-
should've been.
And they
You
should
see-
have had some other kid draw those characters because they didn't do such a good job. But go
I
ahead.
mean, we're sitting here talking about dudes trying to justify why PS Plus went up in price, but it's like, bro, let Conquer be a reason to justify it because you're getting games day and date on Plus. You know how many people wouldn't complain about this? They would be like, you know what? I'll give the damn game a try. Maybe I'll like it. That's it. I'm not saying it would have made it a success. No, but you would at least
would've
level
lasted
some of
longer.
this. Some of this negativity would have been cut straight down the middle, and you would have had some more leg room to earn consumer trust with
Imagine-
free DLC, etc. You could have done more.
Imagine if it came out on PlayStation Plus, right? True, it wouldn't have made a huge splash. It wouldn't have had a crazy thing. But if it's on PlayStation Plus and the hype is around it and the fanboys are loving it, you'll try it, maybe see that the game loop is good, even if you don't like the characters, and
Right.
give PlayStation a chance to kind of tune it and make it better.
Right.
A
Give 'em
la
story
Ubisoft
modes.
games.
I think
Exactly.
that
Give them
was
story, give them all that
problem.
stuff. They can do all
Yeah.
that on the back burner if you guys want that lore and all that. Technically, that should have had that from the get go. I don't know what they were thinking by not having a story, but again, that's
Special
exactly what is
edition
happening.
Controller and everything, man. That's crazy.
Mhm.
But what kills me though, Conqueror lived. Conqueror got the green light. Factions 2 did not.
The Spider-Man MMO, the Spider-Man free-to-play, the multiplayer
Oh,
game did
man.
not.
Which had me excited. When I saw
Sir?
the gameplay, I was like, dude, why?
Sir?
Why?
That
was incredible.
That to me is one of the greatest losses that one of the greatest games we've never gotten.
Well, can I say something?
my
real fast?
God.
Can I say something real fast, Big Cloud?
Just imagine if Insomniac knocked it out the park. Do you have any idea how even more just their stock would go up in gamers with Insomniac if they pulled that?
Exactly.
It actually looked amazing.
Let me-
Another thing is factions. Factions didn't happen. We didn't
Right.
get factions.
Let me give Colin another point here, because usually, like you said, like to me he has no reason to lie. But check this out, and Jaffe kind of collaborated this because I heard him the other day on a video that he made. Did you guys know that from all the characters from the PlayStation's history, for some reason they thought Sweet Tooth was a little bit out of character for Astrobot? Did you guys know that? So what I'm trying to say is, because Jaffe said that he spoke to someone, okay, and not to quote him because I don't remember exactly what he said, but in the line of when he asked, hey, how come Sweet Tooth doesn't make an appearance in Astrobot, he was told that, oh, that character is a little bit out of line for our world. But you have Kratos in there that basically, has done everything
Looks
he's done in the
Chipotle.
past, right?
Yeah.
So, and plus,
That's a
not to
very
mention,
weird take. Yeah, that's
exactly.
very weird.
So when you take a look at that, right, and it kind of goes in line with what Colin is saying with the toxic positivity within, that it looks like they're in danger there over there with their decision making. Maybe that's why factions got canceled, because they're like, nope, this game's too violent. Maybe that's why there's no Twisted Metal. Maybe that's why there's no Soulcom, because they have this just warped mentality that whatever they're doing is correct. And obviously, look at Concord. It obviously failed.
So I think when it comes to that, it's the same reason why after Gears 1, Gears 2 and 3 lost their horror edge.
Yeah.
They wanted a 4-quadrant game. They wanted a game that everybody could play. Now, I think that's detrimental to the game, but I think this decision's similarly on that. We don't want a game that's too risky. We want something that everyone can pick up, especially Astrobot, which is geared towards children, right? And children can play.
Casual children or family oriented. And the thing about
Again,
that too,
I don't think it's righteous, but I think that's probably why they made that decision. What you were going to say, Big Cloud?
no, and to that point, Astrobot, as much as I like it, like I do think it's a great game from what I played, and I'm platinumed it and whatnot.
I'm still playing it now.
It's great. It's a great game. It's really,
awesome
really good.
game, yeah,
It's really great. They do a good job with the dual systems. But you know what's funny? Not any other. This is like one of like what 5 developers that have actually taken advantage of this damn controller or whatnot like this, and which is crazy because you think about, damn, why aren't all these features really being taken advantage of? But again, that game though, in a weird way, and mentally does more harm to you than anything. Why? Because it reminds you of all the good.
Oh man,
You think about it. It reminds you of all the good that we had.
all the
You know,
potential.
and we're not seeing. They showed Delson from Infamous Second Son.
Oh yeah.
They showed we got Fetch from his Second Son. You saw the SOCOM characters. You seeing Resistance characters and vice versa. Where are these characters?
Yeah.
Where are these games?
They're leaning on their nostalgia and their history, like they have reverence for them, but they refuse to make new
You
games
won't
in
use
that
them.
IP.
Right.
Yeah.
You refuse to use them. Instead, you keep rehashing the same thing. Like right now, and it sucks because I think Horizon is a cool IP, right? We all think it's a cool IP. But what sucks is the fact that we're getting so much Horizon stuff that to the point by the time you get to the next Horizon game, whether it be Horizon 3, you're gonna be tired of it. There's a new MMO that's being worked on right
Big
now
Cloud,
too. Yeah.
Big Cloud, let me throw this theory at you. You tell me if I'm mistaken, right? I think Horizon is Herman's what do you call it? Not Sackboy. What's Knack?
Yeah.
You want Cerny, you gotta get the Knack. You want Herman, he comes with Horizon. I think it's his baby, and he's the ultimate decision.
Oh, he's definitely
maker.
glazing the game. He's like, no one asked. He's glazing the game. No one asked for.
He's doing
no
a little
one-
more than that.
No
He's
one
throwing
asked
that
for
thing
a
at this point.
remaster. And you know what kills me is when I see people in my comments that say, "Well, the game looks good enough to me, so it's worth the $10 to me." You know what you're basically telling PlayStation when you buy stuff like this? That it's
Keep
okay to
making more.
charge us.
Yeah,
Well, not just that.
yeah.
It's okay to charge us for what essentially should be free for those who bought a PlayStation 5 Pro,
Yeah.
and those are Pro upgrades.
Yeah, you know what's crazy?
That's
If you
what
think
this
about
should've
it,
been.
if you think about it, like you have the Horizon remaster coming out that is basically part 1, right, of that franchise, and at the same time close to it you have a Horizon Lego game which is also going to retell that first entry into the series, and you're like, wow, okay, so talk about double dipping here. Like
Yeah.
you really are trying to push this. And if you think about it, Big Cloud, did you watch that Sony presentation earlier a few months back or 4 months back or something like that with the whole Kando thing?
Yeah.
That okay, and it goes back in line to they are trying their best to make Aloy an attraction, so that when you go to a theme park, you
Yeah.
see the big robotic dinosaur.
That's why they partnered with
standing there,
Lego. That's why they
and then you
partnered
see
with Lego.
Aloy, and your kids want to take pictures with her, and et cetera, et cetera. That's what it looks like they're pushing towards.
And you know what's funny?
So-
the R-rated one that we see, you know, the real cool version of the mechs, you know, that we're used to. Odds are those won't make it into attraction pieces. What will end up
No,
making it
yeah.
into attraction piece will be
With
the
the cute
Lego
things,
kitty,
yes.
yeah,
Oh,
the kitty
absolutely.
version.
The cute things,
And that's
right.
where a lot of people are failing to realize. And the damage control behind that was like, oh, Lego made them do this. This Lego has a. First of all, no, this was a PlayStation decision. And I love how people were so quick to try to damage control that. Like, Sony
let me-
wants more games on more platforms. They are showing that.
Oh, that's
especially.
no doubt.
They are
That is
showing
no
that.
doubt.
It's
no
going to
doubt.
happen.
Absolutely, yes. Let me throw this at you about the Horizon remake, right?
Yeah.
I actually think they had a game plan that just will never materialize. They had Netflix at the same time making a show, and
Oh, you
show
thought
has-
this was the launch back and forth? Yeah.
this was the same thing. They were trying to capitalize on what The Last of Us 1 capitalized on,
Right.
which was, hey, the show is amazing. Look
Yeah.
here, there's a remake
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Go play it. They were trying to get that game ready in time for the Netflix show, which was then canceled. So now all you have is a game that's been upgraded, and people are like, "Where's Bloodborne?
What
Why
happened? The
this?"
director fell asleep or something? What happened to the show?
He quit.
He
I think
quit.
it changed hands,
Yeah.
and then he quit. Yeah,
Wow, I
yeah.
didn't
He
know that.
passed the
Whole thing.
project on creative differences or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So okay, let's move beyond our criticism of PlayStation, because we know that the consoles can do what they can do, but they can only go so far.
And also, they haven't been maxed out. PS5 has not been maxed out, and we already got a Pro. Think about that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't taking much to put a piece together why this Pro is unnecessary when you have games that already look good and you haven't maxed out the Pro. Instead, you're still, and what's even more crazy about it too, that's hurting it. You were still in cross-gen. You're still getting cross-gen titles. They show cross-gen titles on PS at the showcase. So,
Although what I will say about that though is, when you really so they've been eating off the fact that their console is less powerful, but is still doing better than the Xbox Series X in many ways, right? Which is true, right? It is less powerful, and it's still neck and neck with Xbox by and large. What has worked in their favor is they are the market leader. So everyone makes it for PlayStation and then ports it to Xbox, and then you'll never be as equal, right?
Yeah.
The rare examples when people don't port to PlayStation and then make it to PlayStation, then port to Xbox, then you start seeing the discrepancies. Two of the ones that I can come off right off the top of my head would be Alan Wake 2 and recently, Space Marine 2. Both are very performant on Xbox, more so than on PlayStation. So I think right at this time where maybe Xbox is becoming a bit more performant and starting to pull away, now is a good time for them to come out with a Pro and be like, hey, we got you. Now we're actually back on top. You know what I mean? Because you started seeing the separation a little bit. If you see Space Marine 2, like they're at 40 something frames per second while Xbox is solid 60.
yeah.
Right? So maybe now is a good time for them to
Here comes
bring
the
something
pisser.
in. But
For the
then of course we have a problem because they didn't upgrade the CPU. The pisser only does upscaling, not frame generation. So how much actual performance gains will you get? I hope I am wrong, because I would love to be wrong, because that tells me we're moving the ball forward in a good way, and I'm here for that technology. Right? But it just doesn't look to me that they answered the question the way they should have answered the question. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I mean, and they missed every golden opportunity. I said this, shout out to Dorian, I see him in the chat, but I even said this on the channel. I was like, dude, if there was any moment to try and sell a pro, you could have said it at the start of the state of play by saying that every game shown on this show is running on PlayStation 5 Pro.
Or even have Kojima come in and say, this is Death Stranding 2, this is it, this is the game running on that Pro, and show it off in all its goodness.
You know what's funny, John? Dudes attacked me when I put out a prediction going into the show. I was like, bro, it'd be cool to see Ghost 2. That's why the first thing I said. As soon as I put the predictions out, it's like, oh, you're out of your mind. They didn't say that. Why are you setting yourself up? Blah, blah. I'm like, bro, it's a prediction. Relax. And then when it was shown, these same dudes deleted their comments.
So here's what we'll do. Before we turn the page on this conversation, you saw Ghost 2. You and I think we are all in agreement that the Ghost of Yotai is what saved that show. What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
you're a fan like I'm a fan. I've put many hours into the PS5, PS4 version, and I bought it on PC and been playing it on there as well. What do you think of Ghost of Yotai?
So when I saw it, I was like, the first thing that was going through my mind was, okay, because remember, mind you, we were seeing cross-gen games too. And so when you have a stream going on like this and you're seeing a bunch of cross-gen games, immediately I'm sitting going, is this running on PS4? Because the way it was looking, it didn't look that visually impressive for the most part. Like the set pieces and all that stuff, the scenery and just the art style, it's still there. It still looks great in that aspect. But like I wasn't like, my eyes weren't blown that way. You know what I mean? Like I was when I first saw Ghosts, if that makes sense. But what I saw, it did look great. I see a lot of people complaining that it's a female protagonist. I could care less that it's a female protagonist. A lot of people are saying they wanted Jin Sakai. Low key, I kind of thought Jin Sakai was at the beginning of the trailer. It looked like Jin Sakai at first, but it wasn't him. So from what I'm gathering is that Jin Sakai became a legend as the Ghost, and his legend has inspired more people to pick up the mantle. Kind of like that. You ever seen that movie, the Phantom? There's like a comic book film with Billy Zane. Remember how it was passed on from father to father and the generation going? So Jin Sakai was the first Phantom in this case, or in this case, the first Ghost. And as time progressed and moved on, it moved and inspired more to pick it up, and he became a legendary name. So
it's great. That's a great idea, right? It's a great way of creating a franchise.
Right. You can expand it. You can move it further and beyond this from, just this time period. You can go into modern time by having it be the Ghost. And that's the brilliant part behind this. I think it's cool. And when I saw, I forgot her name. She's playing her. I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. I was happy to see her get an opportunity like that, because she's always obsessed with Japanese lore. She's always writing and creating. She was doing suits for Spider-Man as well at one point. Erica, she was doing a lot of cool stuff. And I was like, wow, that's awesome that she's now going to be immortalized in a video game character. But of course, with the internet and everybody seeing how PlayStation has been moving as of late, there has been a lot of female, like there's no escaping at this point. There has been a lot of female pushing type of direction. Like if you play Spider-Man 2, you would know at the end. I don't know if you played it. You played Spider-Man 2, but
we have, but no spoilers.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man 2, it does its own thing.
Yeah,
it has
its special empowering parts.
It's like, okay, I see what you're doing, but I'm like, bro, for me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All I care about is the game is good, story is great, combat is solid. I'll have no complaints. You'll never see me complain about a good game in those aspects. I judge a game based on what it is, a game. I don't care about a female protagonist or male protagonist. If the game is great and the story and I resonate with it, I'm all in.
It just needs to make sense. That's it, and this looks like it makes sense.
Yeah, like this is 100 years or 300 years after Jin Sakai or something like that. Or
300 years. 300 years, yeah.
Yeah, this is like, it's kind of like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes type of thing. Like you moved on, you're in the same universe, but you're moving it on and you're improving it and you're telling a story.
The only thing that I would say to anybody who potentially has a genuine, not a dumb, the neckbeard issue, but a genuine issue. If you have a genuine issue and you're not sure how this will play out, go to Netflix, watch Blue Eyed Samurai, and then come back and talk
Yeah.
to me.
That's a good template.
You know, I
That's a
will
very
say
good
too,
template.
though. There is one thing that I low key, because this was the main talking point that we all had when we played Ghost for the first time. We beaten Ghost. I really wanted to see how they did. Like, I really wanted to see what they were going to do with the uncle, and see if how they took the choice. Because remember, there was a choice you make in regards to that, whether or not you give him the samurai death, or you let him live, and he swears death upon you. Like, I'm gonna bring hell. I'm gonna bring armies. He's like, do what you must.
It doesn't
So,
mean though
for
that
the
he's not
record,
going to
though-
explain that though here in his
For the
lore.
record, though, they did say they're not done with Jin's story.
Okay, well there
Oh,
you
they
go.
did. I
So
missed that. I missed that.
there's hope then, and I like that, because Jin has a lot of layers that can tell some badass moments and can lead to some badass fights. Like, imagine round 2 with his uncle, but this time the uncle gets the heads up, you know, like they run it back and the uncle gets the head up, he ties it up, and then you have to finish it, like, you know, kill him finally, because he's gone blood crazy or something like that. That story, like, I love that, because
from a franchise perspective, right? And this happens a lot of the times because we've grown up playing, you know, the Halos of the world, the God of Wars of the world. What happens is that this is a risk that can either blow up in your face or pay off. But if you tie yourself too much to one character, we've gotten to a point that we don't want to let go of John 117. We have a hard time letting go of Kratos as a character. So in this particular franchise, if they can do what it is that you're saying and they can move on, you know, and then after this game they have yet another protagonist, etc., etc., they open up their franchise a little bit more than getting handcuffed, you know, just with one protagonist that nobody wants to see ever go. So I would expect them to kind of tell Jin's story. Maybe she is narrating the story.
Look,
you know,
all I want
she might
at
tell you
some
the tale
point,
about it,
maybe
you know.
later, much later, all I want is Ghost of Tsushima, Shinobi. I'm good.
Bro, and we might get there. And the thing is, too, a lot of people are not figuring out, like, maybe Jin is like a distant cousin or ancestor of hers, and she finds that mask in like a temple, and there's like a homage to him or something like that, you know, honoring
you
his
never
legacy.
know.
Like,
You
that's
never
the
know.
cool thing about it. There's so many ways to set this up. Like, to give you guys an example, do you guys remember Assassin's Creed 2 when Ezio first finds the assassin robes and the hidden blade and everything? You remember how
Yeah,
I
badass
don't
that
remember
was?
it exactly, but I mean,
You don't
I
remember,
remember
he looks in
playing
the
it back
wall
then.
and then the soundtrack plays and he finds it with the letter. You're like, wow, okay, this game just picked up a
It's
bit. Like,
it's apt that you make that comparison, because I really feel like this is what PlayStation's going for. They saw Assassin's Creed and went, "We can do that too." And
we can do
this
it better.
Is the Ghost
Yeah,
formula.
exactly. And I do think that that's just more like what's going to happen. And I'm all for it. Like, I love the game. I thought it was a fantastic game. It's one of the best. It was amazing art style. Combat was fire. I do wish that we could have gotten another, just more of Jin, so we can see what else kind of like techniques he learned, like different ways of stealth killing. Because remember, he was a samurai that was transitioning into a sneaky
Into a shinobi.
ninja, right?
Yes.
Ninja,
Yes.
and you know, a lot of people still probably don't understand, like, why his uncle was so obsessed with dying. Well, Jin Sakai's family all died. It's kind of like Forrest Gump. You guys remember Lieutenant Dan? Like, everybody in his family died in every single war.
Lieutenant Dan.
So when they go into battle, it's like death. Death is their passage to heaven. That's how they saw it. They all went there, drove into battle. So that's why how deep it was. I was so into that game. I was like, man, this game is just so badass. Like,
if you need some, and this is for you too, Big Cloud. I hope you've seen it. I hope anybody that loves this game, I hope you've seen Shogun. If you haven't seen
I
Shogun,
haven't
that
seen
is
that yet,
homework.
Kay. I haven't.
That is homework. You need to go correct that immediately.
One more
it
thing.
really fills in some of the aspects of Ghost of Tsushima that they don't get a chance to really fill in.
I'm gonna look at that, Kay. I'm gonna look at that. But one thing that they need to do, and I don't want them. Listen, I don't want them to pussyfoot around this. But they better not have removed those hot springs. That's all I'm saying. All right, just because it's a female now, hey, Jin went in the hot springs, she can also. That's all I'm saying.
And you know what's gonna happen when she goes to the hot springs, right? Every time she takes the robe off, as soon as she does, a tree will just be right in view, and it'll just
A
be
block
like,
will all of a sudden block your view. The
Just-
dog.
you
will,
know how it's
the
gonna
dog
go.
will his
I mean, they
will be there.
removed the. I mean, yeah, I remember how raw God of War was back in the day with just the
Oh, yeah,
mini games.
absolutely.
They removed those out entirely.
Oh, they
So,
will never bring that back.
like, remember how insanely interactive it was with Aphrodite and God of War?
Oh, yeah.
my
Oh, yeah.
God,
Amazing,
dude.
bro.
Like, they were some horny bastards.
Hell yeah, I was one of them. I ain't gonna lie.
They were horny as hell.
I replayed
but
it
they-
again.
You ain't
again.
never gonna see that like that in another God of War ever. You ain't gonna have
That
no fun
time has
with
passed
Freya.
us by, gentlemen. That
Right,
time
there
is
ain't gonna be
gone.
no fun time with Freya. There ain't gonna be none of that. So you might see it, but odds are you probably won't. Like you might see a bonsai tree in a left field. Like,
Okay, I wanna tell Big Cloud one more thing. As he
Yep.
as he makes his journey, you know, and we can turn the page because I know
Mhm.
you've been trying to get to the topic. So
Oh no,
if,
that's fine. Go ahead.
if once you do make your transition full time, right, and then you see that you are playing on PC, your Steam library is growing, all that good stuff. Let me tell you something, and this is something that I was worried about at first, and I know you know this, but I'm just letting you know, and for anybody out there listening, the PlayStation controller works. You know about DSX, the app
Yep.
that you can get DualShock, DualSense features in your controller on every game if you want to.
Mhm.
The transition has never been easier. So like this
dude,
isn't
you
like
can
when
tell
Kay
you
first
want.
started gaming on PC that you had to jump through hoops to get games running.
Yep.
Big Cloud, we're gonna be playing the games way better than everybody, and you know what?
We'll have
If
all
you-
the bells and whistles.
and this is what's gonna happen because I'm telling you, it happened to me. I jumped from my now modded Switch, by the way. Okay, I got it today. We're gonna
you
we're gonna
need to
talk
shut
about
your
that.
mouth, sir. We're gonna talk about that later. Them
We,
ninjas, the
okay.
ninjas. You say it 3 times, they just show
Yeah,
up.
I
You know,
mean, I
we
got
already
that
talked
in my
about
hand
Shinobi
right
once. Calm
I-
down.
So you jump from there to your PS5 to your PC to your PC handheld to your Android device, and you know what, Big Cloud? Some of this stuff doesn't bother you anymore. Because when they come out and they say, hey, you know what? Ghost of Yotai is going to be 30 frames at launch. You're like, okay, cool. I'll wait for it to come out over here then. Cool.
Mhm.
And if I want to, I'll
Mhm.
play it there. I'll try it out. And if it's the performance lacks, I'll just wait then. And that's what starts happening to your mentality. And it's crazy because now, before when you were like, when I used to get upset and be like, bro, how is Redfall 30 frames per second? What are
And,
they
and
doing
when he
here?
would do that, you know what we'd be doing? We'd be
Emotional
like,
gamers. and the
and
thing
now, I don't know if he's still in the chat. Same thing used to happen when Umbra used to be all heated. Now he's like,
exactly.
same thing used to happen when Everborn was like, oh my God, what the heck? All these people are. Why is it they're not doing what's but now? Anytime anybody's talking about console stuff, he's like,
It doesn't matter.
this is the world we live in. Right?
I mean, the thing is that this is the way that I see it. Once you started paying attention to these things, Big Cloud, guess what? Your time with console was done. Once this started bothering you, these things started bothering you as a whole,
The thing is,
you
dude,
were done.
I was always buying Plus day one. I was making sure that stuff was like up to date all the time. Once I stopped doing that altogether and just I'll periodically probably buy, not the yearly, but you do like the monthly, like $10 when I'm playing the game. Like in this case, Elden Ring. Like I'll play a game with Blaze 4K or whatever, and we'll
Yeah,
play.
Blaze is a cool guy, man. He's
Yeah, he'll hit me a bit. Yo, we gotta get on Elden Ring.
Gotta get
on. Hey, like, let's come on, bro. Let's go to Elden Ring. Like, I got you. Like, all right, let's go play Elden
Shout
Ring.
out to Blaze, man. He does a good show, solid cast every Saturday. It's so funny, man, and they're really entertaining topics, man.
They be doing the most, but once I stopped playing for that, I was like, bro, I have not looked at Plus the same ever. Like, I never bought. Like, I honestly, to be fair, I didn't even look at the high tiers like that. Period, because the high tiers, I never saw value in the high tiers.
It's a ripoff, bit, especially when I have an Android and I have backed up all of my PS2 games that are not on that service because they lost licensing on SmackDown. Like the SmackDown franchise will never come back because they lost the licensing to all those songs.
Imagine having a platform where you have legit native support for every single game, every single platform, right here, PC, and you can play everything you possibly want for free, mind you. Just a quick download.
Welcome to my world.
You can do all this for free, and then you have another side that's offering you streaming of old games.
720p, baby.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
It is what it is.
I did a
So-
stream playing Resistance, bro. It was night and day.
I
was
watched
sitting-
that. I watched you for a little bit. I was
I'm
like,
over here
man,
grinning
you
like,
must be-
damn, this looks so good. And he was like, wait, like, where's the other stream? I'm like, bro, I'm coming back. Don't you worry. But this is just night and day. Like, it's insane. Well,
So you know what? You know what we'll say. Bit when you are at a place where you're like, okay, I'm in those waters, and of course you can reach out. You know, if you need any help, if you need any questions, we got your back always. That's what we do around here. If you get to a place and you set up and you want to come chat, please come back to the show. Let's see what you're working with. Let's talk more speeds and feeds
I
about
got you.
what you put together.
What
Right?
egot you got running, all that good stuff, man.
You
got
need
a
to
few.
calm yourself
man?
down.
No, I
sir.
got, no, he ain't wrong the emulators. I got a few of those, but
Have you
There
heard
you
the
go.
ninjas? The ninjas is
No,
out.
I was
man.
referring. No, I wasn't referring to Doug. I was referring to RPCS3. That's what I
yes,
was.
sir. That's what we talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wasn't
Okay.
referring
We
to
Jack
Doug
Sparrow
Bowser.
in a lot of these games.
We
so.
gonna move swiftly along,
Yeah.
because them ninjas they take no prisoners out here.
I ain't got no quarrel with them. We good over here.
So okay, because we're here, we still have about 30 minutes or so, a little less than 30 minutes. But I figured we drop just a few topics together.
I thought you were gonna ask about the logo. Go
Oh
ahead.
no. We're gonna talk a little bit about some of the interesting things that we found here in gaming. And what I will ask you, BitCloud, before we even get into it, have you tried your hand at handhelds?
I do want to get into them, so I am looking at the Steam Deck, so I'm more likely am gonna
Okay.
get it. But a lot of people talking about the Rogue Ally, so I'm kind of torn between
You're
what is
torn,
what,
okay.
because I don't know which one to really get. You know, I see
Sure.
I'll see Cognito talk about Rogue Ally, he'll talk
Yep.
about it. You know, you have Blaze and everybody talk about Steam Decks. I'm like,
Here's my question to you, sir. Are you an iPhone or an Android user?
There you go. That's the question.
okay. I do have an Android right now.
You an Android
Okay.
user?
Yeah, I do have
Go
an
with the ROG Ally.
Right.
Okay.
You're an iPhone user? Go with the Steam Deck.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now here's my question to you. He asked you that question. Let me ask you like this. I know you currently own what, a 3070 right now?
Yep.
Is that what you're rocking? Okay.
Look at
so
you doing your homework. Look at
and
you.
I told you, man. I listen to all podcasts, man. I'm just lurking in the back. So when so you already got it. So you do have PC experience, Big Cloud. It's not like you're a total novice.
Oh yeah.
Nah, I
You know,
built this-
coming into this.
I built
The
this.
man is using it for his
So-
podcasting. Of
so-
Yeah,
course,
I
he
built this from
knows.
scratch. When I started
That's
off
right.
my channel with a pre-built
Okay.
that I bought, and then I, obviously them old pre-builds. It had an i5 in there, RX 480.
Okay. All
That
right.
was a starter PC, and then I went and got an 8700K, which is in this, and at the time it was a 1070. That's what started, and then
Okay.
obviously we upgraded
No,
to the 30.
because like me, I was like, when I started this journey, I was like on Dark level. That and not a knock on him. I'm not trying to, say anything bad by that, but honestly, it never had a PC before. So
Yeah,
the
you didn't know what
Steam
you were
Deck-
doing.
So the Steam Deck was my entryway, and kind of like my floaties, like Kayasantic says it, to say, hey, this isn't so bad. So, but I think a ROG Ally would be perfect.
Yeah. Now, if you were gonna tell me something like, "Oh yeah, I'm an Android user, but I'm rocking like the magic phone or some crazy thing like that," then I would say you don't need to mess with the radio hits. Go for the deep waters. But those are deep waters that not everybody wants to jump into. So
Are you showing off
understand
that joint? See, if you got that one.
you know what I'm saying? But yes, well, the reason I bring up the question of handhelds is because we have a couple of handheld topics that I wanted to quickly discuss. And I also wanted to, John, I'm not sure if you knew this, I wanted to share an interesting piece of tech that has been shown off that I want to get y'all
Cool,
opinion
man.
on.
Yeah.
First off, so I love when tech moves us forward, right? I love when every new device brings something new.
Ooh, that's cool.
This guy lets you easily swap your SSDs, right? Every other one out there, you got to unscrew the whole back. This
Yep.
one, you just unscrew something right here, boom, pop another SSD in, we move forward. It's a beautiful thing. Every time a new device comes out, they present a new feature that everyone else should copy. The Ally X comes out with an 80 milliwatt hour battery. Now, other people want to see that. You know what I'm saying? So this is the interesting thing. Now, this is not standard RAM. Well, it is standard RAM, but it's not RAM that you get normally at a store everybody, the RAM that is known is not really this RAM, but this RAM has been out there for a while. And the only reason why it's expensive now is because most vendors don't use it. But in a world where vendors start using it, like everything else, the prices come down. So this is a company called ADATA, right? And they're embracing what is known as the CAM2 memory standard. And what that will bring is, and this is their prototype, looks real cool. I actually like that.
Oh, it pops out. That's cool.
Yeah.
What that will bring is not only can you change the SSD in the drive, you can also change the amount of RAM you want. Right? So imagine a world shows up where you get this machine, cool device. Obviously, it won't look exactly like this. This is just their prototype they're using to show it off. But then you can go in there and go, you know what? I want the cheap one. Give me just the SoC, no RAM, no storage. I'll figure that out myself. What a world, right? Pretty cool.
Don't expect the Switch 2 to be like that.
No.
Oh hell no!
No way.
Hell no. What we talking about?
You'll get what you get, sir.
I don't even think it's going
Switch
to beat
2.
the Rogue Ally or Steam Deck.
Yeah.
No, but with this, K, I did watch kind of like the interview and
Yeah,
this
yeah,
was
what do you
the first
think?
This is the first time that they show this off, and one of the things that the presenter kind of talked about that I listened to him that I found interesting is that their idea is not only like to like this is made for that gamer that is used to those PC waters where you're upgrading every so often or whatever the case may be when you need that performance bump.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is that you can repurpose these parts as well. So instead of just right, hey, I upgraded, I'm gonna throw this away. You can use that to build a mini PC, do whatever you're gonna do with the upgrades that you've already done. And if you think about it, if they're able to come into the market right at this point, and I've been consistent with saying this, the more OEMs that get into these waters, it's gonna get harder and harder for them to stand out unless they're doing something special.
Unless they do something different.
Like that
That's
PC
right.
Yep.
out,
Unless they do something different. What made, in my opinion, what made the Legion Go a viable competitor to the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally was its form factor and the fact that it brought the little switch like controllers. So it stood out. It's something new, something
Fun fact,
fresh.
that's actually the case that I was looking to get.
Oh, really?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
Oh,
what the case is.
Dude is looking
Yeah,
to
there you
build
go.
a PS7. So
Oh Lord. Oh,
so in this world, K, I think that this particular company, I think they're going about it the right way. They just don't want to make another handheld. They're looking, how can we stand out? And you know what? I commend them for that.
I like the fact that the top pops up. That's a kind of a cool, interesting idea. No, I haven't seen that being done so far.
it's got to stand on it too. No?
Yeah, you know, it's a reference design. You can tell they took some of the design choices from ROG. You can tell that a little bit.
So is that bigger than the handheld that you have right now, or
No.
No. So
it looks
this,
like it's bigger than
this is the big dog right here. This right here is an 8.8 inch screen,
Right.
and all it is a big ass tablet with two controllers on the side.
That's the One X Player. That's One X.
Yeah,
is
this is
the
the
company.
X1 Mini.
I have a One X Player Pro 2. That's an 8.4, and One X is a very, very good company. Big Cloud, you can look into them too. To be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. So Soil Tech, the great Soil Tech, he says the Legion Go is also a pretty awesome device.
it is.
This device literally has the Legion Go screen. It's basically the Legion Go screen,
The
and it's
display.
also the display.
And how
And it's
much
also
you,
144 hertz.
How much you dropped on that one?
So since I was there day one, let me see. It's 1 terabyte, 32 gigs of RAM, 8840U processor with controllers, a keyboard, and a mouse
Okay.
for $900.
That's actually not bad. That's not
Nope.
bad. That's
Not
a pretty
bad at
good
all.
value. You
So
get
there you go.
everything on
Yeah,
top.
You get the whole deal, right?
That's not bad.
But you have to, of course, understand this is a bespoke creator. These guys aren't like at Best Buy. So when I got this, I also got a warranty. I got like a different warranty company. So if anything ever goes awry, anything ever goes funny, I can just go to them. They'll give me cash money for what it's worth, and then I can just buy another one. I've actually used their services on numerous occasions. But the point is, there are many options in these waters, depending on how comfortable you feel, right?
Absolutely.
You want to walk into a Best Buy, they have the ROG Ally for you. They have the Ally X for you. They have the Legion Go for you. And they are great devices. But if you want something that's real, like this, will outshine them, except for the battery, because the Ally X's battery is better. but this outshines them as far as performance, as far as screen, and a few other things, right? And there are lots of different options. Like the man Dorian Gray is saying that GPD Win
That's also
does
a good
really
company.
good company,
Yep.
right? But there are many waters to swim in, and this is really cool. I love that they're bringing the idea that, hey, because it's true, right? Most people that have the Windows at least based handhelds aren't there to be like, this is my first PC. No, they usually
Nah.
have a PC at home and they
Right.
take
And this
this
is an
on the go.
extension, right? This is an
And,
extension
and
of it.
to Everborn's credit, Keosante, I heard him
Mhm.
talking to you about this on Saturday, and he's talked to us many times about this in our DM. But Big Cloud, you know how Xbox now, how there's this rumors of handhelds, and PlayStation also there's this rumors of handhelds and all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's the new Portal 2. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're just dipping their toes in that water. The
Yeah.
PC gamer is already living that life. Like
Yeah.
we're here already. You know
yeah,
what
I
I'm
do
saying?
think the reason why I think Sony would go through with it is just because you know the Portal, even though I heard it was doing better, it's streaming only. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
they need a dedicated
It is
download.
such, bro.
And
It
it's
is
handicapped.
such a handicap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one right here. I love it. It's great. I use it. I enjoy it. But I'm like, bro, where is even if it's gonna be streaming only, fine.
PS Plus.
Where is my PlayStation Plus that takes me to the PS3 games?
Right.
If my Xbox, if my PlayStation at home has a power outage or something, now if I'm on vacation, this thing is a paperweight.
Oh, you're
There's
right, yeah.
nothing to do besides just that. It's just such a missed opportunity. It makes me mad.
It really
It's
is.
unfortunate.
Like, because when I saw it, I was like, damn, I would absolutely pay for
It is
it if
great.
it was native.
It is
Like, I
great.
can just download
Yeah.
games directly to it, play
Yeah.
it on the go, play it, you know.
It is great,
I'd play
and
it.
it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I buy a console, a handheld that looks like this with controllers on the side, and then somebody gifted me something like this, which has controllers on the side.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the life I lead these days. But yes, to get back to this, I really hope this thing comes about, and I hope that, like, you know, and we've even heard that PlayStation's also toying around with the idea of possibly getting back into proper handheld, not Portal,
Yeah.
right? So hopefully, you know, all these ideas mature to a point where at least some of the vendors will start making use of them, right? So there's that one, and then another thing that I wanted to discuss real quick, just like that one, was speaking of the Lenovo Legion Go, they're not gonna sit down and let Asus take all the credit and get all the shine, right? They're also now coming out with 2 Go's. Rumor has it, the Go Lite and the Gen 2 Go. So I guess my question, and I'll raise this to you, Mr. John Wolf. I know you are a self-proclaimed paid pig. You got your money in your pocket. It's in your hands. You're feeling the Ben Franklin's head as we speak right now.
PS5 burned me,
Pause.
man. I mean, I got it to spend.
What
Certainly lost it,
would
man.
what could they do to make you go, okay, Ally X in the bushes, this is where I'm going? What could they do?
It would need obviously to have better or the same specs as the Legion, not the Legion Go. I'm sorry, as the ROG Ally X. So I'm expecting an 80 watt battery.
At least, yeah.
At least we know that the screen, you know, even though it's not VRR capable on the original one, the screen on the Legion Go is a looker. It is sharp.
It's great. It
It
is
is
great.
fantastic. So
Mhm.
to be honest with you, if they at least put an 80 watt hour battery and they improve that performance, and maybe they give you the full 24 gigs of RAM instead of the 18 or what is it that the
24, I think it was, right?
it was 24, right? And
Mhm.
I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now, but
24,
whatever it is
yeah.
that we were questioning, like, why did they stop there? Like,
They
if
should have
they
went
don't-
straight 32.
they should have gone straight 32. If they don't
Yeah.
cheap out and they go like that, you might have my attention. But again, they need to do something to outshine the ROG Ally X when that comes out.
Mm.
You know, kind of
Yeah.
like the same way that they did with their Gen 1.
I don't disagree, good sir. I don't. How about you, BitCloud? What things? As a person, as an outsider looking into these waters, what could they do that you be like, yo, maybe I'll try this handheld thing for a minute? Local rendering. What is it that you need as a gamer to be like, yep, I'm a tap into this?
I mean, honestly, give me a solid 60. Pretty, like a good screen on top of that, like OLED screen, if you can. And honestly, I'd be okay.
I
Honestly,
didn't think about OLED.
because these base screens are cool, but OLED, is a little.
I mean,
it does a lot. It does a lot more.
It
you know?
does. It's a game changer.
I'll definitely take that OLED screen, the 60
Indeed.
FPS. I don't need
Indeed.
it to be super, super powerful to have like 4K on the go. Nah, I don't think that's. I think that's overkill.
Yeah, it's not
That's
necessary. Yeah.
not necessary. You can give me if you can give me 1440p on the go.
What you'll find is 1080p. Believe it or not,
Looks
is
good.
righteous. So
It pops.
this is 1600p. The screen.
Mm.
But what I usually do is I drop the games down even lower to like 800p, and then I blow it out. So upscale it from 800p to the 1600p screen, and you still get. You be crazy. I will tell you. I run Ghost of Tsushima on this thing medium settings at 77 frames per second.
Integer
Like,
scaling.
solid.
Yep.
144 hertz would be pretty cool too, for sure.
It's a
And-
beautiful thing. You learn those things as you start playing with these little handhelds and stuff. They do a lot of. They give you options, right?
Also,
it's not like hey, this is what it's gonna run at and you're done. No,
right.
you can
Another
go in and do some things.
The thing they need to, and this is something that is always kind of had me like turned off, not like just because of out of fear, because I always tend to run into this, but it's with the thumbsticks.
Okay.
I would love for there to be detachable thumbsticks, so that way if there's an issue with the thumbsticks, I can pop in some new ones, and I'll be good to go. Just like we do with the PS5 Pro, or no, I'm not for the PlayStation Edge.
Yeah, the DualSense Edge. Yeah.
I will love something like that where you can just pop out defective analog sticks and then pop in new ones, and then
I mean, this can't pop out the analog sticks, but what you can do is pop out the whole controller and just replace the controller.
see, you know what I'm saying? Like I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. I like
$30
that.
and you got new controllers. You know what I mean? And you're back at it. So
Yeah,
it's all
future
good.
proof.
Yeah.
Because like that's
Absolutely,
that's
yeah.
another thing. Reason why I didn't get the portal. The portal is just locked. What you got right there, it's as
Yep.
is. If the thumbsticks are messed up,
Yep.
Well, you're done.
you're
You're
done.
done.
You gotta
Yep.
messed up thing.
You got to
Absolutely.
replace them. So,
Absolutely.
so okay, for the Legion Go now, let me kind of ask you about this. You asked me a question. Let me ask you too about this.
Mhm.
The Go Lite. What do you think? What do you think? You think the Go Lite is their way of competing with the ROG Ally X directly, or what do you think the game plan is there with that Go Lite? What do you think that? Realistically, what do you think the specs on that's gonna be?
Honestly, knowing them, the Go Lite, unless it releases like literally yesterday, it is DOA.
Hmm.
Right? We are NLB, newest, latest, best, bigger,
Yeah.
badder, better. Right? Like if you're gonna do a light, that light needs to be out 5 minutes after your big dog is out. Right? The Go is sitting there stale at this point. You release the light like right now in preparation for Gen 2 sooner rather than later. It should have been out by now. When ROG Ally X was making all these waves,
That was the time.
that light should have been out.
So you
Yep.
saying the light should have been like the teaser, just
Yep.
like the small taste for the main course.
Exactly.
The main one was gonna come.
The idea that they're going with the light right now is it's supposed to be it's a Switch like a small Switch style, and I'm just like, we'll see when it comes out, but I bet much like the ROG Ally, which had the non-extreme version
There
that
you
came
go.
and went
That's what
like,
I'm
quickly,
thinking. Yep.
that's the same thing that's going to happen here. But they are also in the same article talking about a Gen 2. So, and when they say Gen 2, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking the newer chips. I'm thinking optimizations.
I mean, I was already
they've
mentioning-
seen the battery life. I'm thinking they're probably going to get better battery life.
8840U at least, you think, in this thing?
Probably more. Probably they go with the Strix point and they get even better.
Oh,
like,
that'll be good.
This is we're looking at this at maybe 2025. If that's
Yeah.
the case, I would not expect an 8840U in that. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you think about it, right, like, and this is because I've owned this device and I can, and I'm speaking from experience. What they have right now with the vanilla version, with version 1,
With the OG, yeah.
with the it can still hold its own against the ROG Ally X. It really can.
Of course,
It's the same
of course.
performance.
It's the same processor. Yeah.
It's just that obviously you do have a bigger battery and and you do have a little bit more memory to give you that, but it's
Well,
not that.
let's be clear
you know?
here. When you say it's a bigger battery, it's laughable. Their battery was dog water. It
Yeah,
was
no,
trash.
yeah, it
and now the Ally X's battery is way better. I'm talking like 40 minutes to 4 hours difference. Like it's a whole thing.
It wasn't hard
Comparison
to
the
kind of
portal,
about
it's longer than the portal. battery.
Oh
life.
hell yeah!
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! And that's local rendered, and it's still better than the Portal.
So
Crazy.
you expect battery life to go up or down with these new?
Oh hell, it should definitely go up because they have processors now. So all the processors that were in these devices up until now, even the Ally X and all of them, they are literally laptop chips that they have downclocked and they've optimized for the purposes of using them on handhelds. Now that the vendors are seeing that those handhelds are actually taking off, they're making processors specifically for handhelds with the idea that battery life should be the optimal thing. So so now you're going to see processors like some people are talking about like 40, 50, 60% uplift in optimization, meaning
crazy.
a game you used to run at like 17 or 18 or 19 watt TDP will now be 7 or 8, which means many hours more battery.
Right.
That's in our near future.
Zoiltech
So,
has a good
yeah.
question for us. Price speculation. I think a V2 Legion Go, it can't be more than I say $799 to match that ROG Ally X, and then this
I agree.
light $599.
I agree. Well, since in the radio in the department of Best Buy they are neck and neck, and it seems that the Ally is now winning that race. You can't show up with a higher price point and expect anybody to take you seriously. It
Right.
needs to be competitive, but still offer something that the other guy doesn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
take a loss. Take a loss. Just put it in that competitive.
I
mode.
agree.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
okay.
Now, and
Go
one
ahead.
more thing, because Zoiltech says the Portal battery life is really good. It is.
It is.
It is. The only thing is that we got to remember something. We're dealing here with a dual shock, because that's essentially what it is. It's a dual shock cut in half with a screen in the middle. So we know that the dual shock does not have the best battery when it comes to controllers. So
Well, that's
yes,
nice.
while it does have pretty good battery life, it's just, remember, you got a lot of rumble and a lot of little things
Yeah.
going off in there.
I will say, I've tested it out, and this lasts longer than an average controller.
Yes, I agree.
It does last a little longer than your average DualSense controller. I think they may have added a bit more there's more real estate, so even back here you could add extra battery. They added a little extra something. I'm not sure exactly what the battery specs are. Maybe I'll check, but it is a little bit more performant. It's on longevity as far as battery life compared to the standard PS5. Yeah, but no, I really like it. I just think it's overpriced. It's just overpriced. But the last story I want to get to before we get out of here, and maybe you guys have seen this, but BitCloud actually mentioned this earlier in the show, and I was like, hey, might as well bring this up. He says, hey, did you see what PlayStation was showing off? All those things, the glasses. If there were glasses, maybe you'd buy them. Have you seen these glasses?
Oh my god, make you look like a nerd. What are these, man? These are the Steve Urkels?
So check this out. These are the world's first ever holographic glasses. Okay, they're created by Meta, right? Meta. They're on the hunt to make these things smaller every time, right? They have these headphones and all of this, right?
Yeah.
These are the first glasses that literally put holograms in, and they're not like the glasses there are not actually glass. They're literally shooting photon levels of what do you call them, holograms in the view while you're watching them, right? They were supposed to release this thing this year, and they were gonna make it a proper product, but after they built them, they realized it was gonna cost too much. Do you guys remember how much the Vision Pro from Apple cost?
$3,500.
$4,300.
So it's like a
wow.
projector, kind of like an evolution of. You remember? God, what's that thing called?
4,000
HoloLens?
HoloLens. Yes. $4,300 was a Vision Pro. This, after making one, $10K.
What?
Yes.
And I'm
This
sorry,
is
these
10K.
things look like the Urkels, man. What's going on with it?
But what you have to understand is they have the entire computing platform in glasses. So it's got to be thick everywhere. Where's the battery going to go? Where's the Bluetooth going to go? Where's the Wi-Fi going to go? Like all of that. And it's got like 7 cameras.
Yeah, DOA at that price.
Oh, that's why they're not releasing it. Instead, they made, I think they said they made 10,000 of them, and they're just going to hang out and look at that. But look, this is what they see.
I mean,
They're playing ping pong. Like it is future tech that will be great one day. Today, it's just freaking awesome. So this is how they're talking to people. You can literally talk to
Big
people.
Cloud, you're gonna show up to your next family barbecue with these glasses on, or what, man?
Maybe when they get some cooler looks, like some more streamlined looks, where they can look, less obvious. Oh, absolutely.
And
for
of
sure.
course, it uses AI. So you look at something and says, "Oh, that's a banana. That's this. That's that." So just looking at something, I was watching the demo. You look at it and says, "Hey, give me a recipe for something," and it'll give you a recipe for smoothies. See,
Yeah.
using what you see.
Tech like this is
freaking
awesome though. I do like tech like this one too. Why? Because this would have been cool. Like, let's say you go to the doctor. Instead of them, you remember like when you go to the doctor, you tell them your symptoms, they put it in the system, then they look up, they then go and see what they can do for you. Instead of them doing all that, it's all in front of her, and she can just talk to you
Right there.
That
Just like that.
Cool.
Yep. So what this is you have the glasses that has the computation, the visuals. This little puck here is literally where the brains live. So it shoots the information to the glasses, and this is basically a wrist strap that you wear, and it takes like right now you have to make small gestures. They say they plan on, by the time they release this thing as a full product, you can just think it and it'll grab it and use it. So it's got eye tracking. Like all you do is just think, and it like wherever you look,
Snap your fingers twice, it'll make a phone call,
and it makes a phone call. Exactly.
Do something. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
But right now, $10,000, ladies and gentlemen, and they're not even selling the thing. It's
I don't know,
amazing.
man. I think I'd rather get a PS5 Pro at this point. We're around those circles.
Neural interface. That's exactly what it's called. It's called the neural interface. Now, unlike Twitter or X.com, they didn't like shove a chip in someone's brain. This is just on your arm. You know what I'm saying? So,
Pixel's here, man. Pixel, get me these glasses, man. Come on.
Yeah, this is
Get
for
low.
Doc Ock with the chip in the
I don't know, man. You're gonna be looking like Cerny if you're gonna be wearing those things. Seriously.
so y'all can say whatever you want, but Meta, if you're planning on sending one out to me, I will be gladly to Steve Urkel. I'll be like, excuse me, I will wear that every day. I will give you all the feedback. Let's
every
go.
episode.
Every episode. I would be every episode. I don't
that would
care.
be badass though, like taking phone calls and everything like that. Like you're in the market or whatnot, and you
Dude,
see the
that'd be
person while you're
sick.
shopping or whatnot. That would be cool.
Oh, this thing does everything, like heads up display everywhere you go. Like you see somebody, it looks at their face, it knows who they are because it's using
Terminator
AI. It's crazy stuff. Needless to say, if you have not checked this out, it's called Orion. It's made by Meta. They say this is going to be their evolutional project. I suspect you'll probably see a retail version in like 2-3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But for now, only the special people get a chance to try it out, and I'm not part of those special people, so I'm jealous. It is what
Gotta
it
wait.
is.
Gotta wait.
Get
I
excited.
gotta
That's
wait
why you
like
sound
the
different.
normal
yo.
chocolate. It is what it is. But yes, that's it for today. We figured we'd keep it a nice, 145, 130. It's great to chat with you, Big Cloud. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, man,
Always
thanks.
great to reconnect with you. Appreciate you sharing your PC journey with us. As you
having me.
transition and you go on, come back, let us know how it goes. But in the meantime, let the people know where they can find you, where they can keep up with all your shows. What's going on?
Yeah, man. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you and John. It has been a minute, so it's always good to catch up with you. Because the last time I talked to you guys, I think it was Breakfast with Boom.
Oh
So,
yeah, that's right. And bro,
that's
I
what I
haven't
thought
told
to
you
you.
this.
It's
I
been a
haven't
minute.
told you this, but congratulations on your weight loss, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dude, amazing achievement, man. Good job, dude.
Yeah, for those that don't know, in the chat, like John brought up, so I lost 90 pounds in total.
Wow.
So that's
Amazing.
where
That's great, bro. That's
did.
great.
No crazy workouts, just taking out one key component that a lot of people miss, they overlook, and that is sugar.
Sugar. There you
So
go.
that's what I've been doing. But yeah, no, 90 pounds gone. It was a long journey. It's a lot happening, but I appreciate that. Shout out to everybody in the chat for the warm welcome. Always much love to K Asante. Happy to see what he's doing. And of course, John. It is always awesome to talk to you guys about gaming, industry, all that stuff. As far as me, you can find me on Twitter. It's Big Cloud Gaming. Granted, the logo that you see on there, the wolf, it's not on my Twitter. It's my old PlayStation one. I haven't changed that one to the wolf because I have a new one that I'm working the concept of right now. But this one right here is my placeholder. If you guys want to check out my YouTube channel, I do cover gaming. I do cover PlayStation, but it's more of the it's the right way of covering PlayStation. I
The
guess
critical
I will tell
eye.
it like it is.
That is slanderous, Rodimus. What are you doing there, sir? What is wrong with you? Stop that.
That sugar finally has him seeing the light.
All right,
That's
I'm
sad.
That's actually funny. I like that. So I sold my PS5. No, PS5 is still there. But
Nah, man, and you have no reason to get rid of it, man. You just,
No.
you just.
But don't
keep
worry,
gaming.
I'll be ready. Once Mark says date, I'll be ready. Trust me, I'll be ready. But
There you go.
much love to everybody in the chat. If you guys want to follow me, there's a link to the channel right there. Again, thank you guys again for having me, and I'd love to come back on for sure.
Absolutely. That's awesome. For those asking, I'm a little under the weather today. They're like, wow, how's his voice different? Yes, I'm just a little bit under the weather.
Notice that, Kay. I thought it was a program that we're using, the software.
No. I'm just a
gonna
little
tell
under
you
the weather
afterwards.
today. It's fine. I'll be all right. Don't worry about me. I'm good. But how about you, Mr. Wolf? Where can we keep up with all your ongoings this week, sir?
Oh, thanks, Kay, and great job, man, with the background and everything. This is a new app that Kay Asante thought of us using. Everything's looking nice and crispy, man. So
Yeah,
we
man.
always appreciate that. Yeah, man. X, Steam, John Wolf, like you see it there. PlayStation, Xbox. My modded Switch. I ain't gonna give you no social security number to that. But yeah, guys, it's gonna be a great week. We got, we're coming into October, so like I told you, Kay, I'm wrapping up right now. Yakuza 0, which by the way,
Okay.
did you guys see that Yakuza trailer?
The
That
trailer
dropped?
looks great. Yeah.
That show's gonna be good, man. I'm excited. So I'm literally 2 missions away from beating Yakuza 0, which has been a long journey. Let me tell you, I've been playing that game for quite a bit. So after that, now I'm gonna go into October and just horror games for the whole month of October for me.
Oh, we got
Right.
Silent Hill, brother. We got
Silent Hill 2, I'm there day 1 on that until dawn. I'm actually gonna play the remake. BitCloud, cover your ears. I'm actually gonna support it.
If you don't play it on PC, for God's sakes, play it.
No, I am. No,
Okay.
oh yeah.
Well, that's different. That's
100%.
different. It's gonna be a different experience.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm gonna play it on PC.
Gonna be at
and then,
100 frames, not 60.
I'm gonna do Dead Space. Oh, look, what do we got here? Game Tech Talk. He was with us last week. The serious Switch game is not happening on the Switch. Oh, yep. There you go.
Hey, man. Look, Clef. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying Echoes of Wisdom, but not on my Switch.
So yeah, man. Thanks, Kay. Great job hosting tonight, man. We'll be back next week with another show. I'm gonna fish around and see if we can get another guest because I think we've had a good time.
Yeah,
Back to back weeks with guests, man. So
Yeah.
I'll do my part. I see you out there, Flood. Be on the lookout, man. You might be the person.
Yeah,
next time.
it'd be good to catch up with Flood. Then he can stop the slander in the chat. He can
One
be
of the-
slanderous on the show.
Flood's
That'd be great.
one of my favorite guests of all time, man.
Absolutely.
Even
So
though he likes AMD, but go ahead.
on that note, come check us out in the Discord. It's always up when the show posts. You can click the link and you have an invite. By the way, in our Discord, we now have another channel that basically, if you want to suggest topics you want us to talk about, anything like that, you can go talk to us in there, and then we'll talk about it on the show. We're doing a lot more on the Discords. We're trying to minimize our use of Twitter as much as possible because there's just too much madness out there sometimes, man. Our Discord has become somewhat of a respite for us. So come check us out. Everybody's welcome. But as for me, I'll be on Boom Show if my health doesn't deteriorate. For now, I think I'll be on Boom Show this Wednesday, and after that, of course, you can catch me on Saturday on GCP with the Man Everborn Saga. But it's been a great show. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, BitCloud, for being here, man. It's always awesome to catch up with you again.
Absolutely.
And until next week, peace.